watching KOMO News.
The season's first big snowstorm is causing delays over the mountain passes, and a lot more snow is expected in the coming days, what drivers need to know. The home of Representative Adam Smith vandalized over the war in Gaza. The Congress member's response tonight. And in about an hour, the Huskies face the Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12 championship game. We preview the landmark matchup coming up.
Traffic's bad coming over the pass right now. I mean, it is bad. There's a lot of trucks on the road.
Taking a live look at Snoqualmie Pass right now, where travel restrictions are in place as we see the season's first big snowstorm. The sudden change in the weather caught a lot of drivers off guard and led to significant travel trouble today. We have team coverage on this weather-worn day. KOMO Chief Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell is tracking the latest forecast. But let's begin with KOMO's Joel Marino, who is live at Snoqualmie Pass right now with the latest conditions. Joel?
Yeah, the snow just keeps coming down, Mary. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it is falling as I talk. It really feels like a change in seasons, although there is much more snow to come, obviously, since this is the first storm of the season. Take a look down here. It's already got several inches on the ground. I mean, this stuff's deep. They actually scraped the rest of the parking lot clear just a moment ago. Now, on our way up here, we hit a lot of traffic, a lot of semis on the road, everybody going very slow. And the driving conditions got so dicey earlier in the day, they actually had to close the interstate. Now, while the snow keeps piling up, well, drivers, they were pulling onto the shoulders of I-90 to get those chains on. This morning, about 30 trucks got stuck crossing Snoqualmie Pass as the weather just suddenly turned and those trucks started to spin out. It took 2.5 hours to clear everything and reopen I-90, but it has been a tough, slow go the rest of the day. We talked to one man who got into an accident.
Coming down, the snow is very hard. And I lost control. Yeah, but thanks to God, nobody hurt.
They've got some plows running up there. Coming up, going westbound, looks like a little worse than going eastbound right now, but plows are working.
It's pretty rough today. I think it might have caught a lot of people off guard, but I was certainly one of them, but I'm prepared. I've got some chains with me.
The deep snow, once we were starting to come to a slower speed to get off the exit there, we were starting to slide a little bit.
Now, of course, there is a lot of fun to be had in weather like this as well, as the first snowballs of the season got launched. For the Department of Transportation, though, this is serious business. They are fully staffed through the weekend. They say every piece of equipment they have in the fleet has a driver to operate it. Now, at last check, passenger cars were required to have traction tires, chains for semi-trucks. I don't think that's changed at all. But you want to make sure that you carry chains if you are making the crossing here on the mountain passes, because these conditions, they can change really quickly. And it's a $500 fine if you're supposed to have those chains on and you don't put them on, or you don't even have them in your car. Mary?
Good morning, Joel. So Crystal Mountain open to skiers today. What about Snoqualmie?
Yeah, I'm looking at the resort right now. It's to be determined when they're going to open it. I did check with staff today. They say they got their grooming machines running all weekend to just kind of flatten down all the snow that's falling right now. They want to try to preserve that base as much as they can, because there is a possibility that we'll see rain after this weekend. They don't want it to wash away.
Joel, thank you. And today's KOMO Pulse poll is about mountain pass travel. Preston is tracking those results at the live desk. Preston?
That's some good news. I mean, based on our Pulse poll, it seems like a majority of people are prepared, but there are quite a few who aren't, based on the 400 so far who have voted here. To vote right now, though, scan the QR code here on your screen. That's going to take you right to KOMOnews.com, where you can cast your vote. So here's the question we're asking this evening. How prepared are you for mountain pass driving? Well, you can see right now 66% say always carry chains, but now we've got 13% saying need to buy them now and 21% saying I'll take the risk. So that's about 34% of people who aren't really prepared to take that travel through the mountain passes. Hopefully they are, and they can do it safely here now and throughout the weekend. We're always committed to being your voice on the issues that matter most. Our local KOMO Pulse poll, it's a great way for you to speak out and have your voice heard.
Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell with the latest forecast. What timing on December 1st, no less?
Absolutely. Here we go. It's the beginning of meteorological winter. It certainly feels like it, Mary. It is so stormy all of a sudden. We were so quiet there for that second half of November. Remember that? But now the storm door is open and the wet and stormy sky is going to keep on pushing through right through the course of the weekend. For most of us, it's going to be that 1-2 punch of some very steady rain and some gusty wind. In some cases, some thunder, lightning, and hail thrown in for good measure. But for anybody heading across the Cascades, it is all about that heavy snow. Again, traction tires have gone back and forth between being required and advised. Right now, it looks like people are crossing the pass on an all right fashion. The snow's starting to taper off, but it won't be the case for long. There's a lot more precipitation waiting offshore. So a winter storm warning in place through Sunday morning. When all is wrapped up, we will have picked up 1 to 3 feet of fresh snow. But again, on top of that, we've got some very gusty wind coming in through the overnight. Winds in some cases 30 to 50 miles per hour. We need to talk more about that and Mary, the chance for lightning in the overnight as well. That's coming up in the rest of my forecast just a few minutes from now.
All right, thank you. Police are investigating after U.S. Representative Adam Smith's home was vandalized overnight. The congressman released a statement today indicating the vandalism was motivated by the war in Gaza. KOMO's Lynn Ann Wynn joins us live in Bellevue with what we know so far. Lynn Ann?
Well, Mary, Bellevue police did take a report of malicious mischief at the congressman's home this morning, and his office tells us they have notified Capitol Police about the incident. Representative Smith released a statement saying, in part, this attack is sadly reflective of the coarsening of the political discourse in our country and is completely unwarranted, unnecessary, and harmful to our political system. He went on in that statement to say he has met with several groups throughout his career, including pro-Palestinian activists, and meeting with different groups to come together in a peaceful, productive way is the way we must engage in politics. It's unclear what exactly was spray painted on the congressman's home, but our cameras captured crews power watching and cleaning what appeared to be red paint off the home earlier today. Neighbors we spoke with told us they were surprised to see something like that happen here in a normally pretty quiet area.
I don't believe we should go personally at elected officials. They have a job they're doing. There is a way to give your protest. If you're protesting about something, there's a different way of doing it.
And we've asked, but so far neither police nor the congressman have said what exactly was spray painted on the home, and no arrests have been made. We're continuing to work and learn more about what happened here. We're reporting live, and we'll continue to bring you updates as we get them. Reporting live in Bellevue, Lynn Ann Wynn, KOMO News.
Taking a live look at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where in less than an hour, the Huskies will face off against the Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12 championship game. It's a game you can watch only on KOMO at 5 o'clock. These two teams faced off earlier this year in a classic on Montlake. The Huskies won. It was close, 36-33. Let's get right to KOMO Sports Director Nico Tamurian with more on this game. Nico?
Well, hey there, Mary. And you mentioned that regular season matchup. Even the one in 2022 felt like a championship game. The late scores, the excitement till the final whistle, screaming with a game of championship implications. Now we finally get to see that, though, with the Ducks and Huskies going at it with that Pac-12 title on the line. Not to mention, the winner is a virtual lock to be in the college football playoff. Both teams likely bound for big-time bowl games with the college football playoff for the winner, and the loser likely still going to a prestigious game like the Fiesta Bowl. But all that we can break down later, it's a good old-fashioned rivalry here, right? These teams do not like one another. And the only thing as satisfying as winning the Pac-12 title would be preventing the other school from doing just that. This is big-time college football, and it's in the Pac-12 one last final time. Sad, nostalgic, exciting, nerve-wracking all at once. Championship football on the line for the Dogs tonight.
So excited for the game, man. It's going to be another great one, another classic. I'm just excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to be in this position, to be in front of so many people, and to do something special with this team. This was one of our goals this year, was to go in and win the Pac-12 championship, and that's what we're trying to do.
You'll see Braylon in the NFL next year, no question about that. Kickoff set for 5 o'clock right here on KOMO. We'll have special post-game coverage after the game, and we'll bring you the latest developments from Pullman, where the Cougs have lost their star player. Mary?
Nico, thank you. Husky fans have been anticipating tonight's championship game. KOMO's Paul Rivera is live at the Queen Anne Beer Hall as fans eagerly await kickoff. Paul?
Oh, yeah, and fans are starting to pack in here at Queen Anne Beer Hall, just as they have for this magical Huskies run. They want to see if the Huskies can find a way to win one more time, but this one's in the Pac-12 championship. Let's go ahead and take a look over here, right over my shoulders, at everybody else that has here at the bar. This bar has been packed through the season as fans have watched the Huskies find ways to win again and again. There was the first Oregon game, the game against Oregon State, Utah, USC, last week's win in the Apple Cup, all pivotal games where the Huskies came out on top. Now they got to do it one more time. Talking to fans through this, there have been nerves, anxiety. Their confidence has not wavered. They think this is the year that UW can go all the way. But if they happen to lose, they say that there is still a pretty strong argument for them to go into the playoffs. So we will be here watching the game throughout, getting fans' reaction throughout the emotions, the highs and the lows of the game. And maybe we'll spot an Oregon fan or two here in the bar. We'll send it back to you.
Well, thank you. Coming up next on KOMO News.
It's a Friday, but there are no classes at Shorecrest High School or at Kellogg Middle School today in Shoreline. I'm Denise Whitaker telling you what happened that caused the district to cancel classes.
And this is Liz Bonus, the power of healing. We continue the journey of a breast cancer survivor. Meet the team helping to save her life.
Before we head to break, here's today's KOMO quiz. The study shows Americans throw away around 7 million of these daily. What is it? Send us your guesses online at KOMOnews.com or on our social media pages using the hashtag KOMOQuiz. We'll be right back.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa.
America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
The CDC is warning people about certain pre-cut produce tonight. It involves cantaloupes that are contaminated with salmonella. The agency advised against eating pre-cut cantaloupe if the brand is unknown. Several varieties of whole and pre-cut cantaloupe products have been recalled. 117 cases of salmonella have been reported in 34 states. More than 60 people have been hospitalized. So far, 2 deaths have been reported. The fruit was sold at Kroger, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, and Aldi. The CDC says if you have any of the recalled fruit, to throw it away immediately. A 2-time cancer survivor says adding additional healthcare providers to her treatment team has helped in her healing in some remarkable ways. Medical reporter Liz Bonus explains how.
So many of you have shared Coach Krista's journey through breast cancer with us. And today we meet some of her healing team that she says are quite a complement to her traditional chemo and medical care.
I had a fast-growing type of breast cancer. From the day that I found it in mid-July to 1 month later when I started chemo, it grew.
But it's shrinking now, Coach Krista says, thanks to what she calls her hands-on healing team. Nick Alessandrini is a personal trainer.
If your strength level starts here, you're going through chemo, your strength level is going to dwindle down here, right? If we can keep you here instead of here, your chances to be able to heal are so much higher.
Lindsay Bonadonna is a health and life coach. She's helped Krista with food choices and what she calls humaning.
Feeling need, heard, seen, soothed, and supported, and fed.
Brian Sherquith is a healing touch practitioner here at Ohio's Vitality. It's a practice that allows hands-on healing.
We're able to show time after time that people feel better. They at least feel better, right? And sometimes their symptoms do decrease.
As a 2-time cancer survivor, Krista says this time around,
I stepped into a healing journey versus a fighting journey. So everything has led me to this moment.
Now, healing touch, nutrition, and fitness coaching, those can range from about $30 to $70 an hour. Krista says, just a reminder, they make good holiday gifts. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus reporting.
For a weather-worn day as we look at the city of Seattle and up in the mountains, specifically the summit at Snoqualmie. We are expecting a lot of snow in the mountains over the next few days, and in the city, well, Something that we're used to around here, a lot of rain. Let's check back in with meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Happy Friday, Shannon.
Yeah, happy Friday to you as well, Mary. It is a messy Friday out there. The snow has caused so many problems up in the Cascades, down below, and for the bulk of us, it is going to be all about the rain and the wind, both causing a lot of issues as we head into our Friday night time frame. It is the beginning of meteorological winter, the 1st of December. Colorful shot sent in here by Leslie. But boy, it is stormy after being quiet around here for the last couple of weeks of November. All of a sudden, round after round of chilly lowland rain, along with gusty wind really ramping up later tonight after dark. At times, we could see some thunder, lightning, and hail in the mix as well. And up over the Cascades, nothing but heavy snow as we head into the first half of the weekend. By the second half, a big warm up. We're going to yank the snow level way up, and that is going to cause some problems all its own with some much warmer rain due in as we head into early next week. Right now, it's the chilly variety, and actually a bit of a respite just for now over SeaTac Airport. 47 degrees and southerly winds that aren't too gusty yet. That is going to change very noticeably, especially as we head after dark here coming up shortly for our Friday night. I'll look at the big radar picture. Again, a respite right now, but the Cascades still seeing that pretty steady snow flying. It has been coming down most of the day over Snoqualmie Pass, and again, caused a big closure with all those semi-trucks spinning out earlier today. A little bit better now. Traction tires are currently advised. But looking offshore, this is the round of heavy rain that is due in later tonight, already dropping a lot of lightning as well over the Pacific. As you're going to see on the Futurecast, that will swing right over the top of Puget Sound as we head into our Friday night and into our Saturday morning too. Current temperatures 40s just about everywhere. Bellingham, you did warm it up to 42. It's 47 in Port Angeles. Made it back to 49 for a chilly afternoon out of Olympia. But a look at the Futurecast showing that heavy rain, the thunder and the lightning that is currently waiting offshore, that is going to swing onshore as we head into the after dark hours here. Stopping the Futurecast at 7 o'clock. Look at that round of heavy rain, likely some hail and some lightning embedded in that, coming through Olympia, Tacoma, and Centralia too. At the same time, that snow, it just doesn't let up over the Cascades. That's not all, though. The heaviest rain, coupled with the gustiest winds, going to come right through the metro area at about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, that snow continues to pile up over the tops of the passes. So how much snow are we talking? Most of the high country has already picked up 6 to 12 inches, and we'll see another foot or more on top of that, another 20 by the time the storm wraps up over Stevens Pass. Now, how about the gusty winds? Those ramp up after dark as well. Here we are, 3:30 in the morning, blowing 40 to 50 around Forks and Quileute. And look at how those strong winds come right through Seattle by about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning as well. Could see some wind damage and some power outages overnight as well. So bottom line, overnight tonight, both wet and windy for all of us in the lowlands. Up over the Cascades, that heavy mountain snow continues to fly. And tomorrow, we don't get much of a break. A bit of a break midday before the next round comes in Saturday afternoon. Highs back into the upper 40s around Queen Anne Hill. A gusty start to the day. Winds easing a little bit by midday out of Port Townsend and Bellingham, but also seeing gusts 30 to 50 right before daybreak there. Could lead to power outages over the San Juans. Thunder, lightning, and hail in the mix too, especially likely near the ocean beaches. And how about eastern Washington? Well, if you can get there, because past travel at times very difficult. We will see a mix of rain and snow, mainly a sleet to the north of I-90 and warming up enough for just rain around the Tri-Cities with a high of 53 there tomorrow afternoon. So again, the mountain snow, big problem here. We've got the weather warn label going to underscore the fact that getting across the summit is going to be pretty difficult all the way through Sunday morning. Mary, notice the temps, mid to upper 50s. Some of us even close to 60 by early next week. That's a big Pineapple Express, that very specific type of atmospheric river that can lead to flooding on our rivers down at the ground. We'll talk more about that coming up in my next forecast just a few minutes from now.
December is always interesting.
Yeah, it sure is so far, isn't it?
Here's the KOMO quiz again. A study shows Americans throw away around 7 million of these daily. What is it?
Daily? Okay, so all of us combined, 7 million pieces of fruit.
I was just thinking, yeah, you know, fruit that's gone bad.
Yeah, it tends to kind of sit there. You choose the cookie instead when you shouldn't.
You want to see the guesses?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's take a look. Old pens.
Okay,
I've got a few of those rolling around here at the
Yep.
station. Toothpicks.
Okay, very specific.
Plastic straws.
Oh, that's a good one. Everybody's got to be more conscientious about that.
I'm going to go with the fruit.
I just, cleared out some old oranges and
Did
apples.
you?
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to go with.
Keep thinking about it. We'll bring you the correct answer coming up in the next half hour. See you then, Shan.
See you soon.
We'll be right back.
With so much at stake in our world today, being there when big stories break, it's just vital.
You need to be on the ground, asking the tough questions, holding the powerful accountable.
No matter where news happens, you'll get the story right here on KOMO 4.
Wendy's new breakfast.
The KOMO forecast team. 4 of the most experienced climatologists, trusted meteorologists, skilled forecasters. The power of 4 working for you. The KOMO forecast team. Only on KOMO News.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa.
America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Absolutely amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV, unscripted stories, and series that you'll crave.
You and I on the road exploring history.
Fabulous.
I'm a reporter, I'm an author, but most importantly, I'm a mother.
Nothing left to do now but to get this thing sold.
It's the ultimate comfort food TV.
That's a guarantee.
Right here on The Nest. Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
A farmer in Tennessee is safe tonight after he fell into a grain bin and was buried up to his neck in corn. First responders had to use ropes to rappel down into the grain bin to get to him. Inside, he was buried just below his mouth in corn. Officials say if he was buried any deeper, the farmer would have suffocated. Rescuers compare it to being caught in quicksand.
It's a force that pulls you down and, collapses on top of you at the same time and puts an immense amount of pressure on your body.
The farmer was conscious and breathing when rescuers used a vacuum to remove some of the corn so he could be freed. He was removed through an emergency side access door in the bin. He was not hurt. A woman in Massachusetts is recovering from serious injuries after a steel bar came crashing through the windshield of her SUV. The metal bar is nearly 15 pounds and almost 2 feet long. Take a look. It happened Thursday afternoon when police say a car got a flat tire after hitting something in the road. The metal bar struck the vehicle behind it.
We're going to look at video that's along Route 20 here, see if we can identify the source. But as of right now, we don't know where that came from.
The woman suffered a serious injury, but she is expected to survive. Coming up on KOMO News, the nation mourning the death of the first woman named to the U.S. Supreme Court. In our second half hour, we look at how Sandra Day O'Connor is being remembered. Plus, Monday morning as new car prices come back to earth, maybe you're in the market for some new wheels. Consumer Reports is just out with its most reliable brands. Join us Monday morning. KOMO Morning News begins at 4:30.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa.
America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
Live in When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa.
America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
The KOMO forecast team, 4 of the most experienced climatologists, trusted meteorologists, skilled forecasters, the power of 4 working for you. The KOMO forecast team, only on KOMO News.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Gertson.
And I'm Dan Lewis.
There is a tradition of quality journalism here on KOMO. This is a group of people that are known for their commitment to the community. They are part of the fabric of this community.
KOMO News, 70 years of working for you.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa.
America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area. When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
First woman named to the U.S. Supreme Court. In our second half hour, we look at how Sandra Day O'Connor is being remembered. Plus, Monday morning, as new car prices come back to earth, maybe you're in the market for some new wheels. Consumer Reports is just out with its most reliable brands. Join us Monday morning. KOMO Morning News begins at 4:30.
Live and
You're watching KOMO News.
Safety concerns for students at 2 Shoreline schools forced them to stay home today. The Shoreline School District canceled classes at Kellogg Middle School and Shorecrest High School. KOMO's Denise Whitaker is live in Shoreline to show us what prompted this today. Denise?
Well, the district did just alert me late this afternoon that there will be classes on Monday. And as you stated, Mary, they canceled classes here at Kellogg Middle School and at Shorecrest High School, plus all after-school activities today. The district said they received multiple reports of threats that a student may take a gun to school.
My friends started texting me, and I was just confused, and I thought it was just a rumor. So then I showed my parents.
A number of parents called police to report what their students were telling them.
They were like, guys, don't go to school tomorrow. Apparently a guy's going to bring a gun and shoot up the school.
Jackson Scholes tells me he spotted all the chatter in social media posts.
Someone's going to bring a gun to school, and he was going to shoot up the school in second period, I heard. And that really scared. I thought it was fake at first, but then I saw on a lot of people's stories.
I asked Shoreline School District for an interview to explain, but I was referred to their website, which confirmed there were multiple reports of a student threatening to harm another, potentially with a gun at school. The district told parents they canceled classes to further investigate with Shoreline Police. Sergeant Eric White with the King County Sheriff's Office, which provides police services in Shoreline, told me their initial investigation found no credible threats, but Shoreline Police are now investigating the threat while the school district moves through its discipline process.
think there's like a bully or something like that.
Parents and staff started reaching out to me about their safety concerns during the last school year, so I asked the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction for the numbers. Those showed a sharp rise in violence at Kellogg Middle School during the last school year.
I thought it was going to be a rumor, but like if I did go to school and it wasn't a rumor, then like I was kind of scared.
Will you be afraid to go to school on Monday?
Maybe a little bit.
Students are not the only ones concerned. A staff member also told me that he's very frustrated and very concerned about this. He said that, staffers have been telling the district for months that they really need to find the money to provide security. Now, the district's not provided any specific security plan for Monday, but said that they will plan to have classes. Live in Shoreline, Denise Whitaker, KOMO News.
Denise, thank you. Bellevue police are looking for 2 men after a carjacking and an armed robbery in Bellevue. They responded to reports of a carjacking at a Bank of America parking lot along Southeast 39th Street. The victim told officers that he stopped to use an ATM and left his 10-year-old son in the car when 2 men demanded his car keys. One knocked him to the ground, threw the boy out of the car, and took off with the car. They abandoned the vehicle nearby and fled in a different stolen car, this time a white Kia. Police say less than an hour later, the same 2 suspects held up a clerk at gunpoint at the AM/PM store along 145th Place Southeast. They stole cash and fled. If you have any information, call Bellevue Police.
New body cam video just coming in showing Pierce County deputies chasing down a man with a sword and eventually taking him down with a taser. This happened back on Friday, November 16th, just before 4:30 in the afternoon. So deputies initially responded to the call that he was threatening a security guard with a machete. And then when they arrived, he wouldn't obey their commands. You could see what they're carrying there. It looks like a kind of a green shotgun-looking device. Well, that's a 40-millimeter less lethal round, basically a shotgun there that they're using. They shot him with 2 of them. They didn't work, and that's when they tased him. They took him to the ground, and that's when he was able to drop that weapon. But, he did hold on to his sword, so to speak. It's unclear if it was a machete or an actual sword. We don't actually get a chance to really see the weapon, but he was booked into the Pierce County Jail for felony harassment, unlawful displaying of a weapon, obstruction, resisting arrest, and unlawful possession of a controlled substance.
Let's head out to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Tonight's Pac-12 championship game is met with much fanfare. It also marks the end of an era. Both teams in tonight's game are leaving the Pac-12 for the Big Ten. Jesse Merrick from our sister station is live in Las Vegas right now. You can hear the noise. Jesse, you've been talking to some fans.
Yeah, we definitely have. The atmosphere down here is great. Obviously, both Oregon and Washington fans travel so well. They've been rowdy. This place has been an awesome atmosphere so far. So can't wait to get kickoff going in this one. But guys, you guys noted there's so many storylines in this one. Obviously, the playoff implications. You got the Pac-12 championship on the line, and also the fact that this is the last time we'll see this Pac-12 championship played with the current structure of this whole conference here, as both Oregon and Washington bolt for the Big Ten now, moving on to bigger and better things in their mind now. And obviously, that's going to be a big thing for these programs moving forward in terms of recruiting and all of that. And we spent the day catching up with a ton of fans, talking about the game, the realignment, moving to the Big Ten, you name it. It was pretty cool catching up with all of them out there. Are you excited for tonight's game? What's the deal?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Who do you think is going to win?
Oregon.
Oregon, why?
Just because of Bo and Bucky, I think they're going to be a very dangerous double. And then we have Tez Johnson, and then we have Troy Franklin. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Ducks can pull it off.
I think it's going to be the same result, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a close game. But I see UW coming out on top, of course. And that's not even being biased. I think we're just better. We have a better offense, stronger offense, especially with PNX Jr. being healthy. So I think we're going to be good. Yeah. Also, Dunze is just... it's a force to be reckoned with, so I think we're going to be pretty solid.
I think Oregon's definitely going to win. I think we should have won in Washington. That was our game, and all we've done is improve each game since then. And I think we've seen some weaknesses in Washington in the last couple games. So I'm really positive about tonight for a Ducks win. Go Ducks!
We're going to see the Huskies perform. We're going to see Seattle come through. We're going to see Seattle perform.
This is going to be one of those games that everyone's going to remember, because I think it's going to be closer than the odds, but I think the Ducks are going to win in the trenches, and that's where it's going to be, take place.
We love that we're in that situation, because the chip on our shoulder is about this big. We're not really accepting that at all. We're pretty sure we're going to be scoring a lot of points, stopping, doing everything we need to do.
Yeah, hey, definitely that's the hope for a lot of Huskies fans. They actually come to this one, last I saw, 9.5-point underdog. So a lot of people believe Oregon is going to get this one done. That's why many fans from Washington have that chip on their shoulder. Again, they come in undefeated, sit at number 3 in the country and hoping to lock up their spot in the college football playoff for the first time since 2016. Again, guys, kickoff at 5 o'clock. We'll see if they can get it done. For now, though, let's get back to you guys in the studio.
Jesse, thank you. Let's check back in with Shannon now with the forecast for some Northwest activities. Hi, Shannon.
Well, hi there, Mayor. Around here, playing in the rain and the wind and the heavy mountain snow. Anything outside the next 24 to 48 hours, definitely going to run into some stormy skies, including fishing. Still a December event, and we'll see temps back into the 40s next day or so before it does warm up quite a bit. Heavy rain, gusty winds, especially after dark and into early Saturday morning. So if you have a trip planned tomorrow morning, it's going to be a stormy start to our Saturday. How about this gorgeous bluebird? Finding wildlife these days harder to do because it's so inclement outside. Temps today in the 40s with the rain that will continue all weekend, but it will get much warmer as we head into Sunday and Monday. That's going to impact any snow play as well. First of all, you've got to get there. Past travel has been terribly difficult, as we've been speaking about today. Heavy snow at times overnight into our Saturday, but by Sunday, that becomes heavy rain. And then another look, this one at just trying to travel by ferry. Definitely a tough affair over the next day or two because it's going to be so gusty. Winds in particular very strong right before sunrise on Saturday morning. Mary, I'll explain coming up in my next forecast.
Sounds good. Thank you. Here is another look at today's KOMO quiz and some of your guesses coming in this afternoon. We'll be back with more of today's top stories in 15 seconds.
Break out and win big at Muckleshoot Bingo. On the 4th Saturday of every month, we've added prize drawings during our regular matinee session and our special breakout session. Break out and win big at Muckleshoot Bingo in Auburn, your home for Machingo.
The year-end holiday period from Thanksgiving through New Year's is always one of the most dangerous times on Washington roads and highways, with a spike in crashes. KOMO's Tara Majors has how you can help stop a deadly trend this time of year.
You've heard the rules. Don't drive under the influence. Avoid distracted driving. Don't forget your tire chains. But every winter, officials see the need to remind everyone of driving laws.
During holiday time, there should be joy, family, friends, and what a horrible time to lose somebody because of what in most cases is a preventable crash.
David Reich with the National Road Safety Foundation says the holiday period between Thanksgiving and New Year's crashes spike nationwide, particularly due to impaired drivers.
Even if 1 or 2 beers can slow down your reaction time when you're in the car.
The Washington State Patrol says in 2022, 750 lives were lost in deadly crashes in our state. They say everyone can do their part to avoid what they call the deadly four: impairment, distraction, speeding, and not wearing a seatbelt. And as the days get colder, the roads get slicker. David says it's critical to know how to best navigate severe conditions.
If it's bad weather, if there might be snow or ice on the car, allow some extra time just to get out there and scrape all the ice and snow off your car, off the windows. Also, in bad weather, you need to slow down. You'll get there.
And if you're doing past travel, remember to carry the correct size snow chains or face hefty fines.
If you don't have chains on the car, there could be a fine of up to $500 in the state of Washington.
Experts say it's also a good time to make sure you have a car emergency kit and that your headlights and windshield wipers are functional. Tyra Majors, KOMO News.
New York Representative George Santos has been removed from office. He is the first lawmaker to be expelled from Congress in over 20 years. He was voted out after allegedly misusing campaign funds for personal use. The Justice Department filed 23 felony charges against him for alleged crimes like wire fraud and identity theft. He's pleaded not guilty. A House ethics report claims he used funds on rent, designer clothing, and Botox. Video shows Santos leaving House chambers before the vote was finished. 105 Republicans voted in favor of expulsion, but some wanted to keep Santos in Congress.
It is an incredibly dangerous thing for people in Washington, D.C. to substitute their judgment for the judgment of voters.
He has manufactured his entire life to defraud the voters of his district.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she will call for a special election to replace him in a few days. Turning now to Israel's war against Hamas, where the ceasefire has ended. Today, Israel resumed airstrikes on the Gaza Strip. Just minutes after the ceasefire ended, Israel says Hamas violated the agreement by firing rockets from Gaza. Israel is now urging people in Gaza to move further south, saying some areas are no longer safe.
I'm saying that if Hamas is in southern Gaza, we have no choice but to go after Hamas where they are located.
110 hostages were freed during the 7-day-long ceasefire. Some 140 hostages are still being held by Hamas, including 8 Americans. Coming up next on KOMO News, the governors of Florida and California face off in another debate. More on last night's war of words between Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom when we come back. Good evening, I'm Kathy Gertson.
And I'm Dan Lewis. There is a tradition of quality journalism here on KOMO. This is a group of people that are known for their commitment to the community. They are part of the fabric of this community.
KOMO News, 70 years of working for you.
Ready?
Very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa. America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
The KOMO Forecast Team. 4 of the most experienced climatologists, trusted meteorologists, skilled forecasters. The power of 4 working for you. The KOMO Forecast Team, only on KOMO News. The KOMO Forecast Team. 4 of the most experienced climatologists, trusted meteorologists, skilled forecasters. The power of 4 working for you. The KOMO Forecast Team, only on KOMO News.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa. America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court, has died. She was appointed to the High Court by President Ronald Reagan in 1981. She was a moderate conservative who upheld abortion rights and affirmative action. Justice O'Connor's vote in the 2000 Bush versus Gore case helped ensure George W. Bush would become president. She retired from the court in 2005 and the next year became the chancellor at the College of William and Mary.
Justice O'Connor spent her life breaking down barriers in pursuit of a more just society.
The Supreme Court says she died of complications from dementia. Sandra Day O'Connor was 93 years old. The Republican National Committee is considering allowing unsanctioned debates. Next week, they're expected to take up a proposal that would permit candidates to take part in presidential debates not approved by the party. If adopted, the change could lead to more debates being held ahead of the Iowa caucus. The next Republican debate is scheduled for December 6th in Alabama. The RNC has not announced any additional debates after that. In an unusual matchup, Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis and California Governor Gavin Newsom faced off in a primetime debate Thursday night on Fox News. The governors are not running directly against one another. Still, they threw insults at each other, with Governor Newsom saying he thinks DeSantis doesn't stand a chance at the presidency.
There's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
We're going to hear.
The two went back and forth on issues like immigration, abortion rights, and the economy. Some questioned what DeSantis has to gain by debating someone who was not in the presidential race. The Florida governor says it was the right decision for his campaign. A new Montana state law that would ban TikTok in that state has been blocked. A U.S. district judge on Thursday issued a preliminary injunction on the ban. The law was passed in May and was set to take effect on January 1st. In the ruling, the judge said that the law oversteps states' power and violates constitutional rights of users. Well, Tesla's long-awaited Cybertruck is now on sale, and it's pricier than expected. The base model starts at $61,000. That's before federal tax credits. When Tesla first announced the plan, they said it would cost less than $40,000. They claimed the pandemic and high inflation forced a higher price point. Wedbush Securities says there are about 2 million reservations for the Cybertruck, but it only expects 30 to 40% of those to be converted into sales. We are in the final moments before the Pac-12 title game kicks off between UW and Oregon, a championship game with a spot in the college football playoff up for grabs. KOMO Sports Director Nico Tamurian joins us with a last-minute preview now. Nico?
Oh, Mary, this is going to be a fun game. Two things that, if the past 2 years are any indication we can expect in this matchup, expect a lot of points and a fight to the finish. You know, in 2022, the Dogs used a late surge to get past a top 10 team, Oregon, 37-34 down in Eugene. Last month, UW used another late game surge to get by Oregon 36-33, another 3-point game. That was here in Seattle. So two things are at play here. Do the Dogs have Oregon figured out, or are the Ducks due? Again, something we'll find out in the next couple of hours. What's curious to me is UW being undefeated, beating Oregon the last two meetings, yet still finding themselves as a 10-point underdog. A little extra motivation perhaps, but when the ball's lined up, none of it quite matters, right? UW has to get some plays on defense, and for all of the success of Michael Penix Jr. in that passing game, they have to get their ground game going on offense as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, but if they do that, UW could be 13-0 for the first time in program history, and they would be off to that college football playoff for the first time since 2016, which is, by the way, the last time a Pac-12 team made it. Preston?
All right, thanks, Nico. As we take a live look out of Seattle, you can see just how dark the skies are right now as all of this rain moves in. Also wanted to show you another shot here over somewhat of the Olympics here. You can see across the bay here, Elliott Bay and all the lights of downtown Seattle. And I show you this because Olympic National Park just put this out a few minutes ago saying with the high winds predicted through Monday, the park is proactively closing several coastal campgrounds and strongly cautioning visitors. And they're saying that windstorm, can mean life-threatening waves on the coast. They also extended it saying this, falling trees can be dangerous and can block roads. So they're saying if your plans are flexible, it's a great time to reschedule. And if they say if you choose to come, be extremely careful, especially on the coast, and consider other accommodations rather than camping.
All right, let's check back in with meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Hi, Shannon.
Hi there, Mayor. We're talking about stormy weather here at home. Certainly some purple rain we've got going. Checking out what's happening up in the Cascades, though. Nothing but snow up there over Snoqualmie Summit through Sunday morning. After that, the snow level is going to get yanked way up, and that is going to cause a different set of issues. A look at the University of Washington Red Square. It's been slippery for walking at times today. A bit of a respite the last hour or so, but now the rain is starting to fill in all over again around Puget Sound. Up in the Cascades, you see the snow flying and the blue shading there over Snoqualmie Summit. Rain getting going again in the metro area, but this is the heavy business due in later tonight. We've got loads of lightning right now flashing through the sky, making quite a ruckus there around Forks and Quileute. So that heavier rain along with very gusty winds on the way for the overnight for the rest of us too. Currently, it's a typically cool rain, upper 40s, real typical this time of year in early December to see temps at that level, but a big Pineapple Express, a specific type of atmospheric river rooted in the subtropics near the Hawaiian Islands. Well, that is going to set its sights on us as we head into early next week. All of a sudden, it won't be heavy snow up over the Cascades. It will be heavy rain instead, and that will lead to some urban and some river flooding between when the rain really kicked in this morning and Wednesday. We will have picked up 4 to 5 inches of rain here around Puget Sound, over 8 around Forks, and look at the Cascades and the Olympics. 10 inches of precipitable water apiece. That's a lot of rain coming right back down from the mountains into the river valleys below and putting a lot of pressure on them. So certainly looking at some higher rivers next week as well. In the short term, just a really stormy Friday night around here. Heavy rain, gusty wind. We talked about that wind advisory, southerly winds 30 to 50, really peaking after midnight and before dawn tomorrow morning. So no wonder we've got the warnings coming out from the Olympic Peninsula, potentially some downed trees and some power outages, not just there, but for the rest of us as well. Still showery and breezy through tomorrow. And by the way, we've got a big game that's about to take shape in Las Vegas. It's been showery and gusty there earlier today. Now it's drying out. Temps are going to settle down right at kickoff into the upper 50s. Of course, Mayor Allegiant Stadium is inside. It will be nice and comfortable inside the stadium. Go Huskies.
Point out, you're wearing the gold, right?
Wearing
Purple
gold.
and gold.
Absolutely. Go Dogs.
We'll be right back.
The KOMO forecast team. 4 of the most experienced climatologists, trusted meteorologists, skilled forecasters. The power of 4 working for you. The KOMO forecast team, only on KOMO News.
Zero interest.
When all you want is some comfort entertainment, we've got it all on The Nest.
Amazing.
A brand new network filled with reality TV and series that you'll crave.
That's a guarantee.
Go to watchthenest.com to find The Nest in your area.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Gertson.
And I'm Dan Lewis. There is a tradition of quality journalism here on KOMO. This is a group of people that are known for their commitment to the community. They are part of the fabric of this community.
KOMO News, 70 years of working for you.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa. America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
A very patriotic display here in Jacksonville.
Veterans Day Parade shutting down downtown Tulsa. America honors its veterans.
I spent 8 or 9 years being gone, about 300 days.
My brother-in-law was returned from his 14th deployment at that time. He needed help, couldn't find a single resource out there for active duty special operations.
What Big Sky Bravery does here is a proactive approach. We work with active duty folks to make sure that they are not forgotten about.
To say the least, this program saved my life.
With so much at stake in our world today, being there when big stories break, it's just vital.
You need to be on the ground.
Asking the tough questions.
Holding the powerful accountable. No matter where news happens, you'll get the story right here on KOMO 4.
The ceasefire in the Middle East is now over after Israel accused Hamas of violating their truce. On this week's episode of Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, Scott Thuman is speaking with a special couple from Israel.
We know Scott Thuman reported for us from Israel a couple of years ago and from a place that's called the bomb shelter capital of the world. Now that we've had the Islamic extremist terrorist attacks on Israel, this town has faced the ultimate challenge. And Scott's back to tell us what happened there.
You can watch Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this Sunday at 11:35 p.m. right here on KOMO. Because of the Pac-12 championship game, tonight's show lineup looks a little different. Take a look. Coming up next is the Pac-12 title game between the Huskies and Ducks, followed by a special edition of KOMO News after the game. Then you'll see Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, followed by KOMO News at 11 o'clock. Here's the KOMO quiz one last time. A study shows Americans throw away around 7 million of these daily. What is it? The answer is pennies. Thor Thorstensen was the first person to submit the correct answer. Wow, well done, Thor. Coming up on a special edition of KOMO News following the Pac-12 championship game, the future of UW and WSU.